let me, because we decided before that I will try to have a short talk and maybe more time for questions and answers, because this is why it's interesting for all of us to get your views on that. Because, in fact, if I have to speak about what is going to happen, I don't know. So the way forward is for me something that it's as unpredictable as it is for you. What I will try to share with you is views on the way we can understand what is happening and some of the questions that remain unanswered and that we have to address, because it's not as simple as that. It's not just a sudden or sudden revolutions that are coming. They are coming from somewhere, and we need to get a sense of where they are heading. The first thing that I wanted to say as an introduction is, for me, if we look at what happened, it's unpredictable, but at the same time we had signals before that something could happen. First, 1.5 years before the first uprising in Tunisia, what we got, and we were very much obsessed with the political picture, not getting what was happening on the economic field, that the increase of the bread price, for example, that was a reality in Tunisia. And it started like this, something which was very fragile, with people not being able to survive. So what was sold to the world is the Tunisian model with democracy, and people were so happy. But on the other side, what was happening is dictatorship and economic fragility, and people suffering and not being able to survive. And this is the way it started. In fact, it was exactly the same in Egypt, where the people were saying, we can't manage, it's very difficult. The economic side was neglected for the sake of this political discussion. And up to now, we still talk very much about democracy and political models, not enough about economy and what is happening in the region. And I think that this is a mistake. We have to be much more involved in the economic challenges that are at stake there in North Africa as well as in the Middle East. So unexpected, and what was very important and still is important, and this is the strength and at the same time the weakness of this movement, is that these were mass protests where no one was able and is still able to say we are leading the movement. And this was the strength of the movement, is that you didn't have, for example, what was problematic in Algeria and still is problematic in Algeria, is that we had leading political forces trying to move the people, but they were not successful. What was successful in Tunisia is no political party, no specific trend was controlling the movement. So it was all these people coming together, knowing what they didn't want, but not quite clear about what they wanted to achieve. And still, this is the problem. So no charismatic leader, no political movement, and no specific ideology leading the whole thing or controlling the whole thing. It happened in Tunisia, and very quickly, we just saw something which was the other side of the picture, which was the weakness of the movement. Not able to have a coalition of opposition force coming together and say, let us come with an alternative. So this was not the case in Tunisia, and if you look at what is happening now in Egypt, it's exactly the same. There is no real alliances between all the opposition force. And this is why it's so weak. And this is where, once again, what we had, and we still, and this is one of the questions of the future, are they going to be able to agree on the rules of the game and to come together about, okay, we don't agree ideologically speaking, but are we agreeing that this should be the framework within which we are going to politically being involved all together? So far, these questions remain a critical one, and I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer because when I was talking with some of the forces and some of the people in Tunisia, as well as in Egypt, I can tell you that even in the movement, what we got, for example, in the West is, oh, be careful, the strongest movement is the Muslim Brotherhood. If you know the Muslim Brotherhood from within, you understand that they are struggling from within about which should be the way forward, because they are not clear. There are lots of tensions in all the movements. How do we deal with this? So, for example, I'm just coming back from Morocco, and in Morocco they have this movement, the 20 février, it's the 20th of February. They want every 20th to come and to show that they are going to resist, and they want the reform to carry on. In fact, in Morocco, for example, the king started the process much before. But now he's saying we want to assess or reassess where we are to discuss about the constitution. There are 3 articles that are sacred and all the others should be open to discussion. But when you go there and you speak with the people, even in the Islamist parties, they are not agreeing. Some are going to support the movement and others are saying we shouldn't. And then exactly the same with the leftists. So the point is that what is clear is that there is something which is happening, that the deadlock has been broken. This is quite clear. It's not going to be the same again. And this was the last region where dictatorships were so powerful for so long. This is the reality of our world. It was, it has changed in South America, it has changed in Asia, it has changed in Western Africa. This was the Middle East and North Africa were the 2 only regions where it hasn't changed for decades now, 40, 30, 20 or more.